how deep the Father's love for us. I think for most of my life, when I think about what Jesus did for us throughout his life, and especially those last 24 hours, especially that first Good Friday, it's hard for me to fathom, right? It's hard for me to even remember that it's a real thing. I'm actually right now in the pit of Caiaphas' house in Jerusalem, where tradition holds that there was this dungeon kept for prisoners under Caiaphas' rule as the high priest, that prisoners were left here awaiting trial. And so it's likely that Jesus may have spent a few hours between Holy Thursday night and Friday morning as he was awaiting trial. He would have spent hours in this pit. It's just crazy to me to think that the God of the universe would stay here. Throughout his life, we never gave him the right place. He was a baby and we didn't even have room for him. He's a preacher and healer and his hometown doesn't have room for him. And the night before he dies, this is where humanity leaves him. See, we know that God loves us often in our heads. But do we really believe that God loves you with a love that is deeper than any dungeon? That when God says he loves you, that there's no length, no height, no depth that he would not go to win you, to bring you back to life, to redeem you, to rescue you. That when we say that Jesus loved us so much that he gave his only life, that he experienced everything, every pain that we could ever know, every hurt, every abandonment, every pit that we could find ourselves in. God says, I am not a stranger. When God says that he loves us, when the Father loved the world, he sent his Son not to a palace but to a pit, because he knew we would find ourselves there. A good friend of mine, his family faced a tragedy in which they lost a child several years ago. And he said that in his grief and in his suffering, in his questions and his prayers, he said to Jesus, as he was just imagining Christ on the cross, he said, why didn't you come down from that cross? And he said he heard clear as day Jesus said back to him, because I knew you couldn't get off of yours. We have a God who knows our hurt, our suffering, our pain, our betrayal, our loneliness, even our death. There's nothing deeper than his love. There's nowhere that we could sink that is lower than he would go for us.